Caverns of Time is pivotal to Classic Plus's success. More than any other experience, any other zone, any other raid, dungeon, activity they could do, Caverns of Time is one of the singular most important things for Classic Plus to truly succeed. Now, the reasoning for this is simple. When you want to stay within Vanilla's world, you can't just create more and more calamities. You can't just create more and more magical mysteries and demon lords and void lords and corruption and darkness. It would make the timeline of the world feel just a bit messy. Imagine you finish Nax and now another old god woke up. Or you finish the other old god and now the Lich King is already invading. You defeat the Lich King, the Burning Crusade is there. You defeat the Burning Crusade and then yada yada yada. It gets overwhelming and unfun. One of Vanilla's biggest fun points was the stories and timelines and things happening were grounded in the areas they were affecting. For example, Molten Core. Yes, a ginormous, powerful, elemental lord. But he's not the Lich King. He's not going to end all life on Azeroth. He's not going to turn everybody to an undead minion to fight against the Burning Crusade. Or for example, Blackwing Lair. Yes, Nefarian, big, powerful black dragon like Nyxia. But think about it, Nyxia and Nefarian have to work together to weaken the human kingdom of Stormwind with treachery and spy work, and slowly but surely dismantling it with corruption. They're not their dad, Deathwing. Deathwing is quite literally, I'm just going to burn down Stormwind. Stop me. Guess what? We couldn't. We needed Thrall to go become Green Jesus to defeat Deathwing. But that's going away from the point. Caverns of Time lets the vanilla world have more and more and more storylines. Because you do have your Hyjals, you have your Grimbatals, you have your Dark Iron Highways, you have your location that people are interested in. For example, Zulaman, the Amani, Qualfalas, and things of that nature. But at a certain point, you have to start visiting other locations, and the Caverns of Time is, in my opinion, the safest, best way to expand upon the vanilla world, the vanilla universe, and just give us more storylines and zones and arcs that keep us in tune with vanilla. And I'm going to quote myself because I've been doing that a lot recently. Caverns of Time is literally built to expand without rewriting anything. Now, I'm not saying Caverns of Time has to be the opening phase after Nax and this hypothetical Classic Plus. We can still get your Hyjals, then we can get Grimbatal, then we can unlock the Blood Elves or the High Elves, then we can unlock, goblins and some new zones and cities, then we can do some expansions on Kalimdor. But Caverns of Time is the eventual endpoint of giving us infinite storylines in the vanilla world and ethos, because we can explore any point in vanilla's timelines and vanilla's history with the Caverns of Time. A really good one. You guys ever wonder why Blackrock Mountain's a thing? Or Grimbatal? We could do War of the Three Hammers, the giant dwarven civil war that spread across Middle Eastern kingdoms. That would be insane. Whoever thought about having a full-blown dwarven civil war as content? But we could utilize all three dwarven locations. You could utilize Blackrock Mountain, Grimbatal, and Ironforge. The Hall of Thanes underneath it, all the older mysteries of the dwarves, the Dark Iron Highway, all of these really, really interesting things could add a lot of depth to the dwarven storylines and content. And guess what? It's not a new storyline, it's an expansion upon old, already written history. We're looking at World of Warcraft and Vanilla through an alternate timeline lens. Imagine Warlords of Draenor, but it wasn't dog shit. Ahn'Qiraj, a lot of people's least favorite raid. What if it was the opposite? What if it was the ceiling of Ahn'Qiraj, where instead of entering Ahn'Qiraj, we literally push all the Silithid, all the Ahn'Qiraji back through. I don't know why I said Ahn'Qiraji, it's just Qiraji. Push all the Qiraji back through the gates and then seal it. That would be cool. We could even see something that brings High Elves as a race to the world with the exodus of the High Elves. That's right, the original High Elves left because they did not want to lose access to their immortality. They didn't want to lose access to the Well of Eternity because Malfurion and Illidan and all that drama that happened. Illidan got banished to the basement under Hyjal. A lot of stories happened there, but I'm not really going to cover that. So the High Elves left. They're like, well, at the time they weren't High Elves, they became High Elves later on. But they went and then founded Qualfalas and then the Troll Wars and all of that stuff. Imagine watching the High Elves establish Qualfalas. That would be cool content, no? Heck, imagine all the Scourge storylines. the scourging of Lordaeron by Arthas killing his father and just plunging Lordaeron into chaos. Imagine watching the Lordaeron remnants start falling apart. Think about Garithos and his racism, the concentration camps, Quel'Thalas and like the Blood Elves just being spread apart. The drama is top tier. I know I said we need this to succeed, and the reason for that is a huge portion of the classic player base wants to improve upon the world without changing it. So nobody really wants to see Alwyn Forest truly hugely expanded, but they want, maybe an extra flight path here or there, some new quest lines to fill in the gaps. But if you want new zones, you have to add to the world, and eventually that leads to the same problem we had with Outland, and then Wrath of the Lich King, and then Cataclysm, where you change and add so much that nobody even goes back to old Azeroth. So the real way to keep on improving and adding content is not to create brand new continents and zones, but to give us new zones set in alternate versions of Azeroth. And the greatest part about this is, say they're doing the Stormwind Gnoll Wars, where the humans were colonizing all of Alwyn Forest, Red Ridge and all that, and the Gnolls fought back. That would be a snapshot, taking Northern Westfall, taking all of Alwyn, taking the Red Ridge and all those locations, and just having this huge new zone, one big mega zone essentially, where you have all these Gnoll buildings and encampments, the fledgling Stormwind, and just feeling the drama between all the factions and the storylines. And that way we get a new zone that's actually not really a new zone, it's just an improvement upon the vanilla ethos. And it does give the devs more time to create original, unique content. A lot of people have ideas of what the world should look like, what kind of content they should add, how it should look and be and play. And there's no perfect solution to the right kind of content. Everybody has the big ticket items, like I said earlier throughout the video. Hyjal, Grimbatol, Quel'Thalas, and all those locations, just the basic classic plus zones that everybody really wants. But once you get through those, say, 7, 8 big locations, what then? If classic plus is forever, 10 plus years within Vanilla's world, Caverns of Time is the clutch moment we need. It's a crutch we have to rely on. Because otherwise we end up going to, this big, huge new continent or island chain. This is where the next 5 zones are. It takes away from vanilla. And one of the cool things they could do is, after a certain point, they could send us back to older raids. Imagine going back to Molten Core, say Molten Core is phase 2 because phase 1 is 1 to 60. And then imagine by the time phase 9 rolls around, we have a Caverns of Time new version of the Molten Core, where we have to go through BRD to enter Molten Core and fight an alternate timeline, alternate storyline version of the Molten Core experience. That would be really cool. It would be a retelling of original content that's existing content. There's other things they can really do with the Caverns of Time, heroic modes, hard modes, dungeons, things of that nature. And that enters a whole different topic that I'm not going to cover in this video. Well, I personally think that having hard mode dungeons that reward cosmetics is a good thing. A lot of people are not really for that, and that's a whole different conversation the classic player base needs to have at some point when it comes to forever content. New dungeons will need things to do there. And the Caverns of Time is a kind of easy approach to that. You go through the Caverns of Time, you go up a difficulty, hard mode 5, Stratholme, Scholarmance, and you get, more Undermined Tarnished Reals as a reward for it, or maybe a mount or something of that nature. But again, not going to cover that too much in this video. In my personal opinion, the Caverns of Time is a perfect snapshot of alternate realities and the past. It doesn't have to be one or the other. People have always asked, what would have happened if Arthas didn't betray himself and then pick up the Frostmourne? What if he had listened to Muradin? That would be an interesting alternate timeline, alternate snapshot. What if Arthas never split Quel'Thalas in 2 with the Scourge? Imagine if the trolls actually beat the High Elves off. Imagine a whole Quel'Thalas location, Zulaman, but this huge new zone of trolls. People like troll zones and troll expansions. They're always rather fun. It's a nice go-to time, little split when people are getting sick and tired of the big bad evil drama. They want to go, it's time to kill some trolls again. But to truly really summarize all this, the Caverns of Time is effectively a way to experience vanilla over and over and over again without changing vanilla. We're not looking at the future of the world of vanilla change irreversibly and no longer being our vanilla. We're entering a portal to see Alwyn Forest in the past, to see Lordaeron in the past, to see Silithus in the past. We're looking at locations in the distant past and how that really ended up looking at one point. Imagine Zul'Farrak's trolls and then the Sandfield trolls having their big empire again. Imagine all the little snapshots of history that would be amazing to truly experience and stay grounded within the reality of the Azeroth we all know and love. We all play classic because we're 30, 40, 45, 50-year-old men who don't want to move on. We have attachment issues. We're afraid of the future. We want to play the past because it's comforting and we enjoy what it is. So why don't we go further back into the past and enjoy that as well? Again, just an idea, but I think it's the right idea. But let me know in the comments down below what you all think. Do you think this was a good video? Do you think this was a good idea? What would you like to see in the Caverns of Time if they did go down this route? Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. If you hated it, understandable. Dislike the video, write a hateful, mean comment, and be dedicated about it. Like this man literally wrote right here. Bro, get some in-game footage with music going. You're not a news announcer. Too long, didn't read. Too short and ugly to be on the screen 100% of the time. You can call me ugly, that didn't hurt me at all. But if 6'1" is short, I'ma kill myself right now. Ebonheart out. Peace.